Abraham Lincoln is elected. Who the hell is Abraham Lincoln? Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. That's my dear friend Prospector Johnny. He hasn't found any gold yet, but
I'm working on. I got
looking.
my bag ready for when I do. So,
He's a looking. Well, Prospector, the election's upon us. It is the week
oh
of the
man,
election. We have four separate candidates with four separate parties. The issues include the expansion of slavery into the new territories and to what extent the federal government can get involved in your personal life.
I mean,
And
I don't
by
want
your
them in my life at all.
well, and by your personal life, what I specifically mean is whether or not you are allowed to own slaves or not.
Oh well,
That's
hot damn.
that's the personal life.
All
We have
right, well
four
that sounds like a pretty divisive and decisive election then.
we have four separate candidates that all essentially are in different geographical locations. We have John C. Breckinridge of Kentucky, who is the Southern Democrats' choice. We have Stephen Douglas of Illinois representing the Northern Democrats, or the people who think that slavery is okay, but maybe we should just leave it up to the people to decide whether they want to expand it into new territories or not. We have Abraham Lincoln representing the Northern Abolitionist Republicans, who think slavery is a bad thing. And then we have John Bell, who represents those leftover Whigs that became constitutional unionists who decided, look, is slavery, like, we're just not going to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So, what two regions were the last two from? Because you said we had Kentucky and
So,
Illinois.
so you have Kentucky, you have Illinois. Lincoln is also from Illinois, and
Okay.
he's represented in the northern states as well. And John C. Bell is more of the middle South, the Midwest almost, so to
So,
speak.
I mean, there's nothing from like the original 13 then.
Well, we'll get there. Custom at the time, Prospector, is that nobody is going to do any campaigning during the campaign. We're not going to do campaign speeches, except for Douglas, who ignores that and goes across the entire United States campaigning.
Wait, during the campaign, they
Yeah,
all
you
decided
are
they're
not.
not
Yes, no campaign
going.
speeches. That's the custom. No campaign
Bitch.
speeches.
So how's everybody supposed to know what they want to do?
Newspapers.
You you think they
We're
can
supposed to
read?
read these beautiful newspapers in front of us, and we're supposed to listen to our elders and those around us to say who we should vote for.
Well, who the hell knows how to read?
You don't know how to read, Prospector?
How the hell am I gonna learn how to read?
Well, I guess you just aren't one
Got
of
a
the
book though.
educated. You aren't
It's
one
for
of the
drawing
educated in the
mostly.
North. On November 6th, it is Abraham Lincoln who's elected the 16th President of the United States. Johnny, this week we have a new president.
Well, hot damn, Abraham Lincoln won. All right. He
He
was the
sweeps
one.
the.
He didn't like the
He didn't
like the
like the slaves.
slaves.
No,
Not for people owning people.
he's gonna sweep the North, the entire northern states. He gets, including California and Oregon. He gets 1,866,452 votes, 180 electoral votes, and 17 out of the 33 states in this union side with Abraham Lincoln.
I
The
mean,
next by
was that a landslide? That sounds like a landslide. Was that kinda?
yes. The next by popular vote is Douglas, who won
Okay.
1,376,957 votes, but only 12 electoral votes because he only won the states of Missouri and New Jersey.
Oh, so it was basically just everybody in those states just like, yeah, this is our guy.
Next next down the list, we have Breckinridge, who would take third place with 849,781 votes and carry 11 of the 15 slave states with 72 electoral votes. And
So
rounding
he
out the
was he was
bottom,
actually way closer to, to getting it than our
then
number
Douglas
two.
was, yes. Rounding out the very bottom, we have Bell, the constitutional unionist, who got 588,879 votes and carried 39 electoral votes of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia.
I
So
mean,
even so, the good old glorious Virginia decided we're just not going to talk about slavery. We'll ignore
yeah,
it.
like the discrepancy between the popular vote and the electoral college votes and everything is
A little out there.
interesting.
No candidate was on all the tickets of every state, and And
So
even
how's
if the
that work?
Democratic, not every candidate was on every ticket. So there were
Just
the southern states did not put Lincoln on the ticket at all. The
just not
northern
an
states
option.
didn't. Yeah, the northern states didn't put Breckinridge. Half the states didn't put Bell because
Is that so? So sort of democracy,
sort of democracy. Uh,
kinda.
if the Democratic Party didn't split, although they would have held the popular vote, they would not have had enough states to carry the union because even if the Democratic Party didn't split, they would not have won any of the states in the North that would have given them the electoral
The
votes.
electoral college votes they needed.
Yep.
Yeah.
That night, Douglas would go to the Democratic headquarters in Mobile, Alabama, and as the results came in, he said, "Listen, this does not mean secession. We can work through this. We do not have to secede from this glorious union."
That's good. I don't want secession right now. The last thing this country needs is some sort of conflict.
Conflict, some war. We don't need it.
I mean, who says that? I mean,
And
not necessarily war if they secede. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But if they secede, it's going to cause. There's going to be talks, and we don't need that.
there is a feeling of melancholy in the Democratic convention in Mobile, Alabama. But to their credit, the Republicans only hold, at this time, 29 seats of the 37 in the Senate, with 108 seats to the 129 in the House. So the Republicans do not have a
So they
majority
still.
in either the Senate or the House. So as the Democrats can stay cool, we can avoid hostilities, and they can keep their slaves, because the Republicans only have the presidency and nothing else.
All right. So really this is just going to come down to the president's going to want to do something about slaves, but not be able to because the House and the Senate's owned by the Democrats.
I think we're good. If you're a slaveholder, I
You're
think you
probably
can calm
fine.
down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a
No
little
need to
bit.
get all worked up about it right now.
But the next day after the election on the 7th, in Charleston, the authorities would raise the Palmetto flag in oppression of Lincoln's election. "We do not want him. We raise our Palmetto flag." Businesses shut down so that the people can flood the streets in protest to Lincoln's election.
Well,
A
hey, that
federal,
that's their right. That's their
yep,
constitutional right. They're allowed to protest. They're upset. I understand that. So go ahead and demonstrate.
yep. They will arrest a federal officer for transferring supplies from Charleston Arsenal to Fort Moultrie, which
Now, hang
makes
on.
no sense because he was just doing his job, transferring scheduled supplies to go to the fort, and now he was arrested
Wow.
because those in Charleston were thinking he was trying to prevent them from being able to arm themselves, if they so
But he
choose.
but he wasn't. It was just
But he
this was
wasn't.
normal everyday schedule. It was just on the books last July, and he had to go make his delivery.
That's true. A Charleston judge will tell his court, and I quote, "So far as I'm concerned, the temple of justice raised under the Constitution of these United States is now closed. Of it to never be opened again, I thank God that its doors have been closed before its altar has been desecrated with the sacrifices of tyranny."
Oh, hot damn!
He might want to calm down just a scotch. It was only an election. Come on, guys. I am
I
wearing my
mean,
Yankee blue, but it's only an election. There's no way we're going to go to war over this.
no, there. I mean, seriously, how long have slaves been around in this country? Since his birth.
Since the get-go.
And now all of a sudden, some Republican gets elected, and we're going to just go to war over slavery? That's insane.
It seems like in Charleston they've got their feathers in the twist a little bit here, and the week
They're
going
just
is gonna
upset. It'll calm down.
it'll calm down. I'm sure it will calm down, hopefully. But the week's gonna end on November 8th when the South Carolina newspaper reads, and I quote in its front pages, "The tea has been thrown overboard. The revolution of 1860 has been initiated."
Wait. They're talking about like
The
like when
Boston Tea
like
Party.
Boston. When we
Yeah,
gained our independence. They're saying that shit's
they're, they're,
happening.
that's the mood right now.
They're trying to get
in
their independence.
in South Carolina. So hopefully we can contain this to just a couple of radicals. I imagine that's all it is.
It's
I
small
imagine we can
pockets.
contain this to just South Carolina. There's no reason why this needs to spread. Like I
Well,
said, be hopeful at home. The Republicans don't control the Senate. They
right.
don't control the House.
Which means they have
They
no real
can't do
power.
anything.
They have no power. You have to have at least 2 out of 3. It's like with everything in a democracy. It's majority rules. They have to have 2 out of the 3 to get anything done.
And the
So
Supreme Court
it's
just
going to be
ruled that slavery was protected in all territories. So,
right.
I mean, you're on the winning side right now. Don't worry. You lost the election, but you still have numbers on your side.
Well, and here's the thing: it's 4 years, right? An election's
4
4
years,
years.
guys.
Just show up at the next election, get your guy in, and then you'll be
Yeah.
fine. But all you got to do is just sit this one out for a little bit, and take one on the chin, and then come back.
Thanks for listening to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. That's Prospector John. Please like, share, and subscribe, and join us in our other forums with Historic Hindsight or This Week in History.